All right, joining us now is Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. You're here on behalf of USAA. Appreciate you joining us, man. How's it going?
Oh, well, man. Appreciate you.
No doubt. All right, so this season for you, another great year. You did deal with a couple injuries. Give me kind of like a not a grade, but just assessment of how this year went for you.
For me, I give it a C plus, B minus.
Okay, so you're a tough grader on yourself.
Absolutely. It was a cool year. Granted, I was able to make it out. I feel like that's the most important thing, and I feel like that's where I hang my hat. You know, I'm able to walk out the season perfectly fine. I'm able to sit in front of you without any injuries, any crazy ones. You know, but throughout the season, man, a high ankle sprain, coming off a shoulder injury the year before, it was not the best feeling, nor was it the easiest. But I will say it taught me a lot mentally, helped me build some strength, some endurance, and more so confidence within myself that I can do it. I can play at an elite level while hurt or injured.
The high ankle sprain, man, that is an injury I think for wide receivers that gets really overlooked. That thing can like ruin your season if you let it.
It could ruin your career if you let it, if you don't treat it the right way. But as for me, I have a great team, great recovery team. Shout out my doctors, and everybody. I put them to work for 3 weeks straight, and they understand. My emphasis was to get back. They know I wanted to rush and get back, but that wasn't the smartest thing.
No doubt. So we've talked previously actually about how one thing I really love about your game is the ability to not just play but dominate at all three receiver positions. I feel like with George in town this year, maybe your role was a little bit different. Any differences in how you played this year, how you were deployed, or is that just kind of me seeing things?
Nah. I mean, I don't think it was much different. I feel like George is a dominant X receiver, so like it was no need for me to go there.
Right.
I'll go do everything else. I'll go to the slot. I'll go play Z. I'll go to the strong side. And G, man, he's amazing. He's an outside receiver. He can get in the slot too.
Yeah.
You gotta find our matchups and gotta expose him.
Yeah, I think he took like 9.5, 7.5% snaps from the slot this year, which is crazy to have that level of production while not getting some of those kind of like layup looks more so from the slot.
Right. More on the outside, man. You get one-on-one coverage, you get favorable matchups. I feel like people kind of get it confused and think the slot's the easiest. Man, you got to beat more people.
Yeah.
Honestly. And on the outside, granted, the competition's more elite.
Sure.
But it's just one guy.
Right. So kind of talk to people about like what goes into getting separation, getting open as that slot receiver.
At the slot receiver position, you got to win twice. You got to win at the beginning of the route, and then you got to win at the end of the route, mandatorily. And then I will say it's much easier because your quarterback can go from outside to tight end to you. So you have more time in that department. I feel like that's where it kind of get easy, you know. But on the outside, you got to win now, and then the ball is out now. You know, you beating the rush. So I feel like it's a little sped up on the outside. You got to win quicker. But on the slot, you got to win more times.
And again, what's good about you is you're able to do either, which makes you one of the best receivers in the league is being able to do it. That's kind of the thing I think has changed about the receiver position. For me, I started studying receivers in depth in 2014. You came into the league in 2020. Even from that time period, a lot has changed. I feel like just from 2020 with the way defenses has changed, offensive structures have changed. We've seen a lot of different ways that receivers like have to be deployed, and you got to do more than just one or two things. You got to be able to do 4 or 5.
Right. If you want to be effective in this game now, the game's going to elevate every single year. And defensive coordinators get smarter every single year. They find different ways of matching up. They find different ways of bracketing, covering these guys. And I feel like it's they don't get enough credit for it. Like they get mad creative, and it's elite.
I mean, we're watching the Seahawks defense coming up in the Super Bowl. That's one that's certainly – I don't think you guys didn't play them this year, but
we'll see them next year.
You see them next year. Like what goes into a defense like that is so – they can play nickel to everything because of some of their personnel, but also the way their scheme works. Kind of tell people what you as a receiver have to do in order to defeat that type of defense.
You got to match their aggressiveness. I feel like those guys they are no slacks. They have young guys all in the DB area, and they play with a lot of intensity and a lot of energy. You know, so when you go into the game, you got to be ready to battle. You're going to be some smack talk every now and then, but that's just part of the game, you know. So I feel like those guys, they're nice. They're playing together. They're flying around. They got a good D-line. I feel like across the board, that defense is flying.
Yeah, they're like that amoeba secondary where everything kind of moves as one, and that makes it challenging for any type of offense. Going back to George here for a second, what do you think was kind of misunderstood about George Pickens prior to him arriving in Dallas?
I feel like they thought he was really just only a high head, and he can't. I don't know. It was so many things that I feel like that was misunderstood. They feel like his attitude was off. They feel like he was not locked in. They feel like he's not reliable. They feel like a whole lot of things that's not really the case. Granted, he got in the league. He really played 1 year of college and then entered the draft because the year after was COVID for him.
Yeah.
So he had entered the draft. And, I mean, he come in the league at 19 years old. What do you expect out of a guy and you want him to be your receiver one?
Right.
I feel like that's kind of crazy. But as for him, he grew up in those years, and I'm proud of him for that. I tell him every time that we have these type of conversations, like, bro, the way that you switch, like you flip the switch immediately as soon as you got here, you make me look like I knew what I was doing. You know, granted, I'm not saying I didn't, but I knew how to, like, tame him in a sense because I am young. I just got out of my rookie deal, so just keeping him within the guidelines, letting him be himself at the same time, I feel like was probably the best thing for him, and I knew that it was gonna have him comfortable here in Dallas.
No doubt, and like that, I think gets lost that you guys come into the league so young.
Right.
And like, man, I tell you what, as a 19, 20-year-old, I don't want to be judged by some of the things then as the man I am now. And I think you guys certainly experienced that while you're growing up playing a high degree of difficulty sport, high demanding career. So that gets lost on people, I think. And I think George is a really good example of that we saw not just maybe you can speak to a different person more than I can, but even on the field, I mean, he's so much better now than he was in those first couple of years in Pittsburgh. And I think he needs a lot of credit for that growth.
He needed a lot of it for his growth. Just as loud as the disrespect was, he needed the credit for his growth. He's a heck of a player, as we all know, and then the way that he practices is amazing. I'm real big. I'm a real practice player. Like I love to get better, and so does he. Every time we get an opportunity to step on that field, we already know what it is. It's time to work. It's time to get better, and for us to keep that same mindset and push each other, push each other every opportunity that we can. I feel like that's how we're going to get the best out of each other. That's how we're going to be the best for years to come. And they got to deal with us for some time.
Yeah, let's keep George Pickens in Dallas. That is, I'm sure, the message that you would like to hear.
Please.
Like I said, I'd study the receiver position in depth, so I'm not just looking at the CeeDee Lambs, looking at the George Pickens. I want to ask you about Ryan Flournoy, another receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. I think he's really underrated, really good player, a strong route runner, gets a lot of separation. What do people not know about Ryan Flournoy that they should know?
He is really underrated, but that's how it goes. You got to start somewhere.
Sure.
And as for Flo, I told him his opportunity is going to come. We're going to need him in games like this. Like in the playoffs, guys like Flo, guys like Schoonmaker, we're going to need everyone to step up. Everybody know we have CeeDee, we have George Pickens, we have Tay, we have Dak, we have Ferg. But like it's the counterparts. It's like the small things. We need everybody to step up together and as a unit. And overall, we'll all look like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and when you're one of these teams, too, that doesn't make the playoffs this year, but that was both of these teams, Patriots, Seahawks. They didn't make the playoffs last year.
Right.
You guys are kind of hoping to be one of those teams that, hey, you go from not making the playoffs into the Super Bowl next year. What do you think has to happen for Dallas to get there?
And we got to be consistent, man. We got to be who we say we are. I feel like it's a lot of talk once we start winning. We just gotta keep our head down and continue to work. I feel like we be consistent in every department. We stay healthy. And, man, we gonna thrive. We just got to keep the band together for one, and then let's go get some stops, and let's go put up some points.
I mean, I think that sounds like a pretty good message there. Hey, you're here on behalf of USAA. Tell the people what you got going on with them.
Okay, perfect. I'm excited. Sergeant Farrell and his wife, I'm excited to invite them to the Super Bowl, 14-year tenured Purple Heart recipient, and a salute to service partnership with the NFL and the Super Bowl. So really excited to have them here. And I'm looking forward to seeing him.
No doubt. Sounds absolutely awesome. CeeDee, appreciate your time, man. Good luck this offseason. Stay healthy and get ready to crush it next year, man.
For sure. Appreciate it.